What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another stream. We are just hours away from finally being ready for game week 1. If you've got questions, thank you for joining. Feel free to start firing them away. As always, if you don't follow me over on Twitter already. That's the best place you can go to get all of your questions answered and everything like that. So links in the description, everything like that. But let's get into it. Thank you all for following yesterday, the new subscribers and everything like that. Appreciate it very much. Good to see so many of you already in here. 38, 45 of you already watching. But we'll get into my team. I think I'm almost there. I will have a team selection video up after this stream, just confirming my team for you all. We'll get into all of that before the game week deadline, as always. But I will show you, of course, where I'm at in just a minute. But we will say hello to a few of you. Well, we'll say hello to all of you. So say hello in the comments down below, and we will get to all of you in just a minute. So let's say hello to who's in here. We've got Will, we've got Matchday Zone, we've got Stelios, we've got Alistair, we've got Big Gear, we've got Xabi, Insane, Ningzang, Mohammed, Ranveer, Hamza, DB, a few of you guys, Adamas, Steve, Samuli, Zaprada, Joe, Bungle, James, it's Ben, Sigurd, Troops, Zapruder, Hassan, Isaac, James, Salman. The game is rigged. Leaf. How are we all doing? Good to see you guys. Let me know, are you all excited for game week 1? We are here already. Tane, Rida, Sashak, Razak. It seems to be in subscriber only mode. I thought I turned that off for the start of. Let's just do this. Cool. FPL Phillips, how are we doing? Good to see you. Lucas, how are we all? Right. So yes, first of all, Buendia looks like he's going to be fit and ready to play in game week 1. So for anyone who wasn't sure on him, wanted him in their team, it looks like he'll be fit to play game week 1 for sure now. Will Obafemi start? So it doesn't look like he will. I wouldn't have expected him to at all. But he is 4.5 million as a forward. But I wouldn't expect him to be starting either. Have I got rid of Barnes? I have. I've got Rafinha. I just preferred having that 0.5 million in the bank. Reese, thank you for subscribing. I just preferred having that 0.5 million in the bank spare, which having Rafinha over Barnes let me do. And I didn't like the difference between them that much, so I've gone with Rafinha. We'll have it start, so I think he'll start game week 1, but game week 2 onwards, it's a bit of a up in the air about what's going to happen with Lukaku. Chiesa, well done. Welcome. Alba missed out tonight, so maybe Martinelli. Arsenal's 2 and 3 fixtures, game week 2 and game week 3 are not good enough, so I wouldn't be going anywhere near Aubameyang for game week 1 or near anyone else. I hope you guys have been. I do have Instagram, and anyone who's on TikTok as well. For some reason, my TikToks from yesterday have got like 250,000 views. So if there's anyone joining from over on TikTok, let me know in the comments. Evening from New Zealand, thank you for joining. It must be late for you there now. Pavel, Garabed, how are we doing? Who should you make captain, Bruno or Salah? So for me, it's Salah this week. Salah is a standout number 1 option for me this game week. Benrahma or Rafinha, so I've gone Rafinha. Calvert-Lewin is tipped to start now. I haven't seen the press conference from them yet, but if that's the case, then I still think he's a good option. I will post my team before every deadline. Follow all my socials and it'll be on at least one of them. Just seen your team and saw that's the exact same as yours. It just sits well with me. I'm pretty set on it. What? Guys, as always, there is if you are subscribing and there isn't a pop-up notification for you all, it doesn't happen for everyone. but depending on your settings and things like that. So who's on my bench? I have quite a good bench. I'm pretty pleased with it. Brownhill, White, Ayling. So as soon as Simicast loses his place, then I've got 2 4.5 defenders, so I can easily play in that spot anyway. So I'm pretty pleased with it. How are we doing, Craig? How are we? Am I locked in? So I'm pretty set with this being my team. I'm pretty set. I'd be surprised if I changed it. There will be a video out after this afternoon before the deadline with my team. So I would watch that in case I do make any changes. Game week 3, I'm probably planning on captaining Bruno, yes, unless I've got someone else in my team. But at the moment, no. Is Livramento a starter? I don't expect him to be at Southampton, especially not for the start of the season. He may come into the team later down the line, but yeah. Yeah, my bench is solid, but I haven't put loads of money into it because as soon as Simicast has dropped, I've got a 4.0 defender, a 4.5 mid, and a 4.5 defender. I think it's a good bench, but I haven't over-invested in it, which is why I like the system that I've got. Is Greenwood a better choice than Havertz? I'm fully on board the Greenwood train, so yes, Greenwood would be up there for me. Yeah. Greenwood back. Is Townsend? No. I don't think Townsend will be continuing to start long term. No. Antonio or Wilson? Well, I've got Antonio. Will Buendia play? I think he'll play game week 1. You have Veltman over White. Should I get White? Or does Ayling and Veltman? Ayling and Veltman rotate well if you need them for the first few game weeks. But if you don't need them for the first couple, then White and Ayling also rotate well. Because I've got Simicast who will play the first 2 and then I can rotate White and Ayling from that point onwards. Why not Jota? I just think Simicast has a good chance of getting points in the first couple of weeks. If he gets benched, it's much less painful and there's much less downside with Simicast getting benched than Jota. Will Barnes start? Is he fit? So I think for everyone looking at Barnes and seeing the quotes from yesterday, I think he'll play 60-70 minutes most games, but he's not going to necessarily play a full 90, but he should be fine to start. I have 0.5 million in the bank with this team at the moment. Yeah, 0.5 million in the bank at the moment. Thoughts on Gundogan for game week 2? Yeah, if I was going for a City player, it would probably be Gundogan that I owned. So, yeah, that would probably be the case if I had to go for one of them. Who do I think are the best 2 mids with a budget of 15 mil? Well, I've got Greenwood and Rafinha. If you could get Barnes and still have money in the bank, then I would have got Barnes. So I'd probably go Greenwood and Barnes. Do I think Pickford is a good pick? No, I'd prefer Sanchez and he's cheaper. Mahrez versus Antonio. You got 1.5 mil in the bank. I'd probably want to start with Antonio, to be honest. But if there's a big difference in price. No Everton, or they have the best run of fixtures. Yeah, but they've looked poor pre-season. I don't think their fixture run is actually as nice as it looks on the fixture tickers. Do I think it's risky having Simicast, Ombamidele and Ayling? So come game week 3 or 4, you don't really want to be playing a Norwich defender. So you'll be playing Ayling every week. I'd probably go Ben White over Ayling because from game week 4, you can play Ayling pretty much every week. You can play Ben White pretty much every week. So I'd probably go with him over if that was your defence. Why is Foster a better option than Steele? He's probably not now. He's probably not, to be fair. Why don't I have any City players? I mean, we could go around all day. Why don't I have this player? Why don't I have that player? But there's just so much rotation. I know someone like Mahrez can score twice in a game, but then he gets benched next game. So will Harvey Barnes start? I think they'll play 3 up, 3 forwards, which will be 1 striker. So I don't think Iheanacho or Daka will get the start. What's my plan come game week 2 and game week 3? So I'm hopefully going to roll my transfer into game week 2. That's always the plan. And then game week 3, I'll see what I need to do with 2 free transfers. I think Amati will play game week 1. But after that, he won't be because they've signed Vestergaard. Ayling or White, you can only afford 1. Again, it depends who else is in your defence. They're both good picks. It just depends which rotates better. If you're having to play one every week from the start of the season, then I'd probably go with Ayling. But if you don't need him until game week 4, then I'd go Ben White. Shall I have Vardy and Antonio up top or Antonio and Ings? I'd go Antonio and Ings, save the money. Am I considering Ings? Am I considering Son? Yeah, but I like Son as an option, but I still think there are midfielders that for less money that can score similar points to him over the first few game weeks. Over the course of the season, maybe not, but I may be wrong and I may have to find a way to get him in. And it probably won't be that hard. Ings downgrade and like a Greenwood upgrade, for example, makes it very straightforward. I could do it in 2 transfers pretty easily if I wanted to. What about Buendia? I think he's going to be fit, and I think he's a good pick then. As a result, he should be on all set pieces for them. Barnes versus Mahrez. Barnes, Son or Mahrez? Son. Cool. Let me just fiddle with a couple of settings, guys. There are 150 of you in here already, but only 27 likes. It's completely free, and it really does help the stream. So if you could just like it while I fiddle with these, we can try and get it 50 up to 100 or so. Would be much appreciated, guys, if you are enjoying, before I get back to answering all of your questions. Cool. Thank you for those who have just done it. I appreciate you guys a lot. Should you keep Sancho in your team? I don't love his price, to be honest. I'd rather go Son for $500,000 more than start with Sancho. Vardy or anyone else that price-wise for striker, I just would be starting with a cheaper striker. There's enough good cheap options that I think will score as many points as Vardy this season. What are my thoughts on Sadio Mane? Considering him over Salah, I would not be going with him over Salah. Salah on pens, always in the golden boot race. So, Foster or Steele with Sanchez number 1? Probably Steele now. 27 to 63. Yeah, thanks guys. Appreciate it. Jota versus Greenwood is a big headache for you. I'm going Greenwood. Is Son good? Yeah, he's a good option for sure. He's definitely a good option. Best midfielder for 8 million or less. Mason Greenwood. I might just put his face up on the screen and then we can come back. Leandro, thank you for subscribing. We are about 300 subscribers away from 1,000. GLVM, appreciate it. Is Sanchez a good choice with all these defender injuries? I think their defence isn't as injured as we thought they were. Lamptey being injured doesn't really affect them from a defence point of view. Dan Burn does a little bit, but Son and Greenwood or Bruno and Benrahma? That's quite tough. Bruno makes your team much more flexible, so I'd probably go with him. I can start running some polls on some things. Do you guys enjoy polls or not? Do you guys want polls or not? Maybe I should put a poll up on whether you want polls. That would be a good one. Gundogan or Barnes? I'd probably go Barnes. But who's a good alternative to Vardy? My front three and Callum Wilson will probably be the ones. And then Calvert-Lewin as well if he is fit. Is Greenwood nailed? I think he'll start the first 4. It's my opinion. People disagree with me, but I think he will. You want polls? Cool. What do I think about a mid of Benrahma, Bruno, Salah, Barnes and Greenwood? Yeah, it's nice. It's similar to what I've got, isn't it? It's nice. What do I think about Bertrand Traore? I don't think he'll play that many. I don't think he'll start very many. Luke, thank you for subscribing. As always, if anyone subscribes, I will do my best to look for your comment and make sure I read it out. You just joined. You didn't hit Benrahma or Rafinha. I'd go Rafinha. The thing is for me, Barnes, Rafinha, Benrahma, I think are all worth the price they are, but I would go for the one that leaves you 0.5 million in the bank. If you've got 7.5 million to spend, then 8 million, then go Greenwood. If you've got 7.5, then go Barnes. If you've got 7 million, go Rafinha. 6.5 million, go Benrahma. I like that 0.5 more than I like the difference between any of those assets. Pucho, should you keep Pookie? No, their opening fixtures are just too bad. So no. Smith Rowe, Jota and Grealish as a midfield. That's not my favourite, if I'm honest. Smith Rowe, I don't like their first 3 fixtures very much. Jota is potentially good, but he's a rotation warrior, and Grealish is a bit the same. I wouldn't want Jota and Grealish because there's easily a chance they both get benched in the same game week. Thoughts on Matt Target or any of the Villa defence? I like Matty Cash. Now that Buendia is likely to start, it makes Target less appealing because he'll take less set pieces. So I'd probably go Matty Cash or Konza. Samuel, welcome. Bruno to Lukaku in game week 6. Yeah, it's quite a possibility for sure. Amit. Sufal, worth it. Yeah, he's a good option at that price. Why Steele instead of Foster? So, Foster's not going to play. He'll probably be the first goalkeeper to fall in price. And Steele is the backup for Sanchez at the moment. So, got 6 mil left for a forward who's best. I'd probably go Adam Armstrong and hope he plays game week 1. I'm not sure he will play game week 1 for Southampton, but he'll probably be ready for game week 2. I know you've commented on it, leaving the money in the bank. What value does it have to you in the first game weeks? So basically, the reason leaving money in the bank is good is if, let's say, Rafinha doesn't do well, and there's another 6.5 million option that I want, he might rise in price, and you have to straight away make that move. If you don't, or Rafinha falls in price, every transfer you make then for that player is a downgrade because you have to sell him for someone who's cheaper than him. But if you save that 0.5 in the bank, it allows you to be more flexible, more patient, and move around once the game week's finished and get a bit more information. So, Schmeichel, yeah, Sanchez is just cheaper for me. With as good fixtures, if not better. Wilson is a better pick than Antonio. I don't know about that. I do like Wilson as a pick. But yeah, Antonio, I just love how much of a threat he is for West Ham. Is Tierney good? He's a good pick for sure. I don't like their first 3 fixtures at all. So from a defensive point of view, so yeah. You're a Saints fan. Hassan Hootel said Armstrong will be fit. So if you're looking for a 6 mil option, then he's the one to go for. Son versus Bruno and 2 mil in the bank. You pick Son. How insane am I would just start with Bruno. Their fixtures are really nice to start the season. If you're not going to spend the money elsewhere, then I wouldn't leave the money in the bank. Because if you go for another premium, you're still going to need to downgrade Son anyway. So there's not much point leaving that money sat in the bank. The best 6 mil bench midfielder, please. If they're going to sit on your bench every week, just get Brownhill at 4.5 million. But if they're going to play Benrahma or Joe Willock, if we get news that Willock is likely to have his transfer confirmed. Any planned transfers? No, I do my best not to plan any transfers at all. So I don't go planning transfers. 3-5-2 or 3-4-3. I prefer 3-4-3 slightly, but they're both good formation. There's a lot of good midfielders. Sufal or Tsimikas to start game week 1. I'd probably go Tsimikas. Why Rafinha over Harrison? Because I think Rafinha will outscore Harrison. He's on set pieces. He's got more time to adapt to the league. Yeah. Brownhill or Benrahma? I mean, it depends if you need to play them every week. If the player's going to sit on your bench every single week, then it's Brownhill. If they're going to play, then it's Benrahma. What I think about Sarr, there's much better options at his price now, I think. I did like him, but it's one of those things that, like, he's a good player to talk about, but when it really comes to it, I don't see myself picking him. I'm going to turn up. I think there's a bit of a stream delay because I'm answering a couple of questions that are then being answered again. So let me just... Thoughts on Havertz with money to upgrade to Mahrez in game week 2? I don't love booking in those transfers. I just start with Mahrez, to be honest. Havertz played 120 minutes midweek. When the subs, can you sub between games? No, you can't. So your game that you have at the deadline is the team you'll have for the whole game week. Lukaku, what are we thinking? Yeah, he's a good pick, but I don't think he'll play game week 1. And if he's not playing against Palace, it takes away the appeal a lot of any of those Chelsea assets. Pulisic for game week 1. Again, I just don't know who's going to start in that front three for Chelsea. It could be any of them now, to be honest. And then Pulisic won't be playing, so you literally have to sell him for game week 2, which I wouldn't want to do in case something else goes wrong with my team. I've had to go Veltman over Shaw due to financial situations. This is the thing, and to use this as an example, when I see people going, I can't afford this player, or I can't afford him, it's not that you can't afford him, it's the fact that he's just too low down on your priorities. You can afford him, but you don't want to sell anyone else, and that's fine. But it's not that we can't, unless you want like Kane, Salah, Bruno, you can't afford them all, like fine, but you can afford them. It's just you don't want to sell anyone else, which is perfectly good. But yeah, is it okay to have both Son and Mahrez for game week 1, or have one of them? If you're not having Bruno, then you have both. I think it's the way it works. It's either Bruno and a cheaper midfielder, or it's Mahrez and Son. Vardy will hat-trick this game week. I mean, he was in my top 5 captaincy options for this week. So, would you have Captain Mahrez instead of Salah if I had him game week 2? Probably not, because I just wouldn't be sure enough that Mahrez starts, and Salah has a great fixture at home to Burnley. So, yeah. Daniel, welcome. Thank you for subscribing. Do I not think Barnes is a better pick than Rafinha? I think they're worth the price that they're at, and I like having the 0.5 spare in the bank. Good 6 mil mid is Willock, Harrison, or Benrahma. Would be the ones that I'd be looking at. Choose 2, Sufal, Simicast, or Dean to start game week 1. Thing is, if you're only starting 2 of the game week 1, you need to ask yourself whether you need to own the third one. Who do I think is going to score more points this game week? Probably Dean and Simicast. Should you use a 4-4-2? It's a nice formation. It gives you good depth. So yeah, there's no reason not to. There's no formation that I would say do and don't use, apart from I wouldn't go 5 at the back. I'm clueless how to change my formation. So in order to change your formation, if you see, when you go onto your pick team page, if you see these little like buttons here, you can click on one and then just change the sub, and it will automatically change. So if I take out a defender and put in a forward, for example, it changes the formation. You have the same team apart from you have Grealish and I have Gundogan. Nice. Greenwood and Ings, or Mahrez and Tony. Greenwood and Ings. Is there a risk going with Antonio? Well, yeah, there's a risk going out with anyone. He's 23% owned, but he's not essential to me. I think there's other options that you could go with. If you told me you were going without Salah or going without Trent, I would be much more concerned than you telling me you're going without Antonio. Ferran Torres is a good option. He's probably going to play up front for the first game. I just don't know how often it's going to happen though. Cancelo nailed. I'm not putting nailed and a City player in the same sentence ever. Apart from Edison. And maybe Ruben Diaz actually. But apart from those two, yeah, I would. Yeah. For how many games will Greenwood be playing? I think he'll play with Sancho. So I wouldn't necessarily worry about Sancho coming back in. Will Alonso play? He may play game week 1. But then after that, it will be Chilwell, so I wouldn't own him. Ings and Watkins double up. Their fixtures turn very quickly game week 4 onwards. So that's at least one transfer you're going to have to make. I think there are other options that I'd probably go with instead of a double up. The front 3 will definitely be Mount, Werner, Pulisic, as Ziyech is out. Yeah. Well, Again, I don't think it's as clear cut as that, but I wouldn't be surprised. Trent or an 8 mil mid? Trent. Is Mount a good choice? Not really for me. I still stand by, even as a Chelsea fan, that I don't think he's a good FPL pick. Yeah, I stand by that he's not the best FPL pick. Start Soufal, Tony or Rafinha. Why have you got... Or start all of them? Who's on your bench if you're having to start only one of them? I'd start all three of them. Cresswell, a good choice. I'd prefer Soufal. Same club. Choose two, Rafinha, Barnes and Greenwood. Well, I've got Rafinha and Greenwood. If I had spare money, I'd upgrade Rafinha to Barnes, but I don't. Is there a difference if I put Brownhill as third substitute and not the first one? I mean, no, it just depends who else you've got on your bench. For me, Brownhill is the best of my three bench options, but your front three, Aubameyang, Wilson, Ings. Aubameyang's not playing the first game, so I'd sell him. Son is a must choice for FPL. No. I mean, he's a good pick, but he's not a must pick. I don't think there's anyone, as I said, apart from Salah and Trent, that I would say is a must pick. Is Lukaku worth it? I don't think he's going to start game week 1, having literally just signed. So, Josh, thank you for subscribing. Front three, Ings, Antonio, Callum Wilson. Good options. I just like the budget that Tony brings. I do think Barnes will start game week 1. Yeah. Hello from Azerbaijan. Hello. Have I changed my keeper? I've changed Steele to my backup, yeah. But I'm from England. England. Do I have money to upgrade Rafinha to Barnes though? But I want to have that 0.5 in the bank, Jake. If I had $1 million in the bank, I'd get Barnes. But Michael, thank you for subscribing. Rafinha or Bailey? I don't think Bailey's going to start game week 1. I'd potentially go Buendia, but I wouldn't want to Aston Villa double up in attack. So it depends if you've got Ings or not. Hello from Bangladesh. Thoughts on Iheanacho? I feel like everyone is shouting Barnes at me. So I want to have a little bit of a poll for you all. Should I use Jorginho? No, I wouldn't. Much better options at this price. Thank you, guys. Sorry, I've been looking down because we have just passed 9,700 subscribers. Do we think we can get to 10,000 by start of game week 1? This is the question. Am I setting Cancelo not nailed? There's literally no one. Walker ain't ready. Yeah, he might play the first game, but when we talk nailed, it means are they going to play like a longer period of time? So yeah, he might play nailed game week 1, but the poll should just appear in the chat. It should just be there for you now. Sorry. Why is it important to have the 0.5? It makes your team more flexible. It's not essential. If you find a team that you really like, then don't worry about it. But it makes you more flexible and it makes you not have to make early transfers at the beginning of the season in case there's a price rise. It helps you just be a bit more patient. You want to go with Ferran Torres. What do I think? He should play game week 1. How does the wild card work? So you can play it once before Christmas and once after Christmas, and you basically get unlimited transfers. Interesting. Only 40% of you say you own Harvey Barnes, but I feel like everyone in the chat is shouting at me to own Harvey Barnes. Interesting. Pravina, thank you guys for subscribing. Who should you start? Say Max or Chris Woods? I wouldn't start with either of them. I'd go Ivan Toney over either of those options, or Armstrong if you can't get up to the 7.5 mil options. I wouldn't be going with either of them. Barnes or Toney? That's quite tough. I'd potentially go Barnes over the two of them. But again, it's pretty close. And I'm not going to do it myself because I like the structure of my team. And I like having 3 forwards and having a 4.5 million midfielder on my bench. It makes it much stronger. Tony could be Pookie 2.0, but I don't know if that's in a good way or a bad way because Pookie did start the season really well. He's got a hat-trick in game week 2 and Tony plays Crystal Palace in week 2, so it could be that. Also, how does a triple captain work? So you play it once throughout the whole season and your captain, instead of scoring double, scores triple. With who to replace Simicast when he doesn't start? Well, I've got White and Ayling on my bench, so one of them will play. Does Smith Rowe not interest you? Yeah, but they play Chelsea in game week 2 and Man City in game week 3. I can look at him again come game week 4, and I will do that with Arsenal, hence why I've got Ben White in my team. Game week 4 onwards, Ben White will just be in my team because they've got lovely fixtures, but I would have to bench Smith Rowe for the majority of those opening weeks. Devin, thank you for subscribing. What about Alexander Isak as an option? Smith Rowe, is Bruno a must pick? You can go without him. You can. I wouldn't say Bruno's a must pick, but I definitely want him. Why do I have 2 keepers on the same team? In case one of them doesn't play. So I've always got the backup. In case he gets injured, rather than having a backup. And rather my 4.0 goalkeeper being from another team, then he just plays, and it's just play the Brighton keepers every week. My midfield is Barnes, Salah, Buendia and Bruno. Very nice, very similar to mine. Harry Ford, I like that. Will DCL start? Will DCL start? We don't have confirmation. I don't think their press conference has been yet. Interesting. So apparently neither Lacazette nor Aubameyang are fit for this evening. Yeah, apparently neither of them are fit for this evening. So that is pretty big for Brentford. I just think I'm definitely having Ivan Toney now. Jota, OG, thank you. Let me end this poll. Get your final votes in and then we will end that poll. Now, we only need 17 more likes to get it up to 100 and there's 200 of you in here. So just do that while I end this poll. The results should pop up in the chat. There we go. So 34% of you owning Harvey Barnes, 65% of you going without. Who's going to start striker for Arsenal then? I've just asked one of my friends who is an Arsenal fan. I don't quite know. Will it be Nketiah maybe? Switch Ayling with a Marty and then you can afford Barnes. But if I switch Ayling for a Marty, then I'm really out of bench options. I could do that to be fair, but it then just leaves my defence in real testing waters for the start of the season. Because come game week 3, I'd have a bench of Brownhill and that's it. So your forwards are Pookie, Tony, St Maximin. You have 1.5. Yes, should make changes. How much is St Maximin? 6.5 million. Upgrade him to a 7.5 million Antonio or Wilson and upgrade Pookie or go to a 3-5-2 and get Rafinha. I'm going to play White today in Arsenal's game. No, he's sitting on my bench. He is in because if you look at the Arsenal fixtures, I'm just pre-planning. Game weeks 4 onwards to game week sort of 9 to 11. Norwich at home, Burnley, okay, Spurs at home in game week 6, but Brighton, Palace, Aston Villa at home, Leicester away, okay, and then Watford at home in game week 11. Like, it's a really nice run. So I just won't play him for the first 3 weeks, but then after that, they were the third. If we look at the Nketiah's injured. Well, I don't know who they're going to play up front then. Maybe a Brentford defender we'll go with. If we look at goals conceded from last season, Arsenal conceded only 39 goals last season. the second fewest behind only Chelsea and Man City, and we know how good they were to own last season. So, if so, when would I potentially put Lukaku in my team? Probably not until about game week 7 when the Chelsea fixtures turn. Veltman over White. I've got Sanchez in goal. I'm quite happy with just one, not going too crazy on it. I think Brighton and Arsenal defence are both really good value. So Antonio is a big no because West Ham in Europe with no depth. Also, he's got a dodgy hamstring. It is true. It's a slight worry. It is a slight concern, but you have 1.5 million in the bank as you have Tony up top. I mean, I would look where else you could spend that in your team. It's not dreadful if you really like the team that you've got, but $1.5 million is a bit too much to spend. I'm not sure Martinelli's been training. Thoughts on Cancelo starting? I think he'll play game week 1, but after that, it's a free-for-all. Thinking behind Raf over Barnes, it saves me 0.5 million, and I leave that in the bank to help upgrades elsewhere in my team later on. Will I look to get Kane in? Yeah, there are a lot of premiums this year, and I'll be looking at them all pretty early on this season and to get them all, but yeah, of course you can't own all of them. Yeah, apparently Martinelli is back, so... But it will mean Pepe will be on penalties. So, as always, guys, if any of you are interested in these stats and stuff, there is a link to Fantasy Football Hub where I get them all, which will give you 25% off if you want to go and check that out. Raj, thank you very much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the help. I hope I'm being a little bit helpful. But yeah, I appreciate the $2 super chat very much. Good luck in game week 1. But yeah, any more questions, do let me know. Lucas Moura or Benrahma? I'd probably start with Benrahma. Lucas Moura could be a good differential. Pepe's good. It's just game weeks 2 and game weeks 4 for them that is the problem for me. Thoughts on Torres? He should play up front game week 1. Dele is a good pick. I just don't know what happens to Dele's positioning if they play Harry Kane when Kane comes back. So Antonio or Richarlison. Antonio, Aubameyang won't play. Yeah, he's not going to play, nor is Lacazette apparently. Am I not considering Son? I can easily get him in. Like Antonio downgrade and like a Greenwood upgrade is pretty straightforward, especially that I've given that extra $500,000 in the bank that I'm saving will make getting someone like Son easier in case I need to do it. So again, it just helps me with the flexibility. You're going to add Dele Alli game week 2 100%. I have looked at him. It just burnt us all at the beginning of last season, didn't it? So that's the only concern that I've got. Thoughts on Maddison? Yeah, I would rather Harvey Barnes, I think. How am I planning on getting rid of Simicast before his price drops? Well, I'm hoping that his price is going to rise before it drops. It probably will drop is the only thing. 20% owned, which is a bit of a pain, but I don't... Yarang, you haven't left a message, and I don't know how much money that is. But thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it a lot. You didn't leave a comment with it, but again, if you leave a comment in the chat, I will make sure to look out for it. If you do have a question that you want to ask or anything like that. But thank you very much. Again, I have absolutely no idea, because it came up as like 200 and I was like, I hope that's not in pounds, dollars or anything the equivalent. But Benrahma or Greenwood and White, or Benrahma or Greenwood and White or Ayling, and Soufal or Dean. Soufal, Greenwood, and then the other two are pretty much just look at what rotates best in your team. Is Edison a good choice? No, not for 6 million. Thoughts on Bergwijn? Played full 90 against Chelsea and Arsenal and scored. Yeah, but as soon as if Kane comes back, it's £1.95. Okay, good. That makes me feel much more comfortable. But I appreciate it just as much. Thank you. My phone is buzzing. Oh. Greenwood short term, yes. Can you have White and Tierney? I wouldn't be going with Tierney just because their opening fixtures aren't good enough, so it's a lot of money. Is Chris Spencer in the... Barnes or Gundogan? I would go with... If you can afford Gundogan, potentially. Is 10k too much for Son? No, I think it's a good price. Chris, are you watching? Put it in the group chat if you are. If I was a streamer, I would accept any donation. It's true, but if that was £200, then I would like send it back because it's just way too much money. I appreciate it all, of course. Is Richarlison good? Everton have an excellent run. I'm not sure he's going to be ready for game week 1. Not worried about Martial. Yeah, but I think Greenwood will play with him. Is Lukaku worth it? I don't think he'll play game week 1. Why change Foster to Steele? I don't think Foster will play. And Steele's the backup for Sanchez, so if Sanchez happened. Worth having both Bruno and Greenwood. Well, I've got both, so I think it's a good plan. They have a really nice start to the season. Like Leeds, Southampton, Wolves, Newcastle in their first 4. I expect them to, win all of those 4. And if that's the case, then there'll be goals in it. Thoughts on Skip from Spurs? I don't think he'll be playing. Dele Alli is a good prospect in this year under Nuno. I just don't know when Kane comes back where Dele Alli fits into that team. What are my thoughts on Ricardo Pereira? He's not a bad differential. Frederick, nice. This guy, my number one guy in all my videos, just comments nice. Appreciate it a lot that you're there every video, and anyone else that is, of course. But I do notice his one comment, the only thing I think he's ever written on my channel. So yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat as well. But how many transfers do you have? No, you only have 1 by game week 2. You don't get a transfer going into game week 1. Which team do I support? I support Chelsea. Antonio or Ings. If I could only own 1, I'd probably go Ings. I'd probably go Danny Ings if I could only own 1 of the 2. I'm playing it by ear. I'm not planning any transfers. Tsimikas or Jota? I've gone Tsimikas. Barnes or Greenwood? I've gone Greenwood. Thoughts on... Who is this, right? What do I think about Mopai? He's not a bad option at his price. Oh, right. So this person's been asking every video and I've ignored it about who this new Spurs signing is. I don't think he'll start. YT. I don't think he'll start. What means FDR? Are those numbers in those colours? So basically it's fixed. FDR means fixture difficulty rating. And then the colours are meant to be green is easier and then it's harder in red, but it's not quite as clear cut as that. There are other ways that you should consider it as well. Don't just take it at face value. Cool. Shaw, Virgil van Dijk, Trent, KDB, Pepe, Bruno, Madison, Kane, Salah, Ings. I don't quite know Drewster exactly. Thank you very much for the super chat, but I don't quite know what the comment is referring to, whether I should pick some of them, opinions on all of those players as picks. Shaw, good pick. Van Dijk, I don't think he'll play game week 1. Trent, good pick. KDB's not fit. Pep, if that's Pepe, potentially a good pick for game week 1. He should be on penalties. Maddison, I prefer Harvey Barnes. Kane, I'm not sure if he'll start game week 1. Salah, good pick. Danny Ings, good pick. Rafinha and Barnes with 1 mil spare, or Barnes and Greenwood. Aaron, thank you for subscribing. Rafinha and Barnes with 1 mil spare, or Barnes and Greenwood. I'd go Rafinha and Greenwood. Leave 0.5 in the bank. Harvey Barnes and Greenwood, or Barnes and Man City mid, or Garnet Barnes. I don't know who that is. So Harvey Barnes and Greenwood. Oh, so Greenwood or Man City mid. I'd Greenwood. Saul or Smith Rowe, I would go for neither, and I'd go either Harrison of Leeds or Ben Rama of West Ham. Stuart Dallas, good pick. Yeah. He's not bad at his price. I prefer Mbuemo. Thank you guys for subscribing. Saul or Smith Rowe. I just answered. Lukaku won't play game week 1. I don't think so. I think Alonso probably will, but I wouldn't be surprised if Chaël starts, given that Alonso played a lot of minutes midweek. Thoughts on bringing in Rafinha at game week 4 or 5? Yeah, if you're not going to start with him, they have a good fixture swing then. So yeah, I would. FPL Dare, welcome. How are we doing? Nice to see you. Good luck to you as well. How was your stream? I saw you doing one earlier. I hope it went well. Would I bring in Mahrez for game week 2? I don't plan on it. I know they could do damage to me, but you got to think more than just one game week. So the manager has confirmed that Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison are available, but some other players are in isolation. So James Rodriguez is not available for game week 1. But it looks like Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin potentially will start game week 1. Could make Luka Dean a better option than potentially he has been. Mount, Pepe or James? Well, if that's James Rodriguez, he literally has just been said that he can't play. So I'd go with Pepe. Is Shaw playing game week 1? I don't see any reason for him not to. Jota or Tsimikas? So I've gone Tsimikas. Leak that Sancho's starting. I still don't like his price. I don't see him being 2 million worth more than going on someone like Greenwood, for example. Went well, thanks, mate. Congrats on getting 10k very soon. Let's hope. I'm hoping there's a chance that it happens today, at some point, being deadline day and all that. But we are very close. 230 subscribers away. Would I be tempted to put DCL in for Antonio? Potentially, but I'm pretty happy with Antonio. DCL, Richarlison, although they're coming back, they've played virtually no minutes. I do. So for anyone new, just here I have the league code. It's a subscriber-only league that has prizes every month. So make sure you join it if you have subscribed as well. But you have to be subscribed to be within a chance of winning, and every video and everything like that, we will do it. I should have, yeah, this is true. Should have potentially some more blue in my team. Prithviraj Singh, what do I think? Sanchez, Diaz, Trent, Shaw, Sufal, Salah, Bruno, Greenwood, Rafinha, Ings, Ivan Toney. Really like that team. The only difference really between mine is I've got Antonio in over... Oh, you're playing 4 at the back, and I've got him in over Diaz. Thank you for the new subscribers. But I like that team a lot. I don't love Diaz that much, if I'm quite honest. I think there are better options. If I was going to go, I'd potentially Chilwell. I know they have difficult fixtures, but I still think they're a good pick, if not. But yeah, the team is really nice. It's the only player that I'd question in it. Good luck. Robert Ducky, how are we doing? Good to see you guys. Love your content. Great work, keep going. Thank you guys very much for the kind words. Could Saka turn out to be a better pick than Rafinha? Their opening fixtures are not good. They're even worse than Leeds', so I would not go for them first 3. I think they rank bottom after the first 3. If we could just get... There's 330 of you guys in here. If you guys could just hit that like button, it would be much appreciated to get up 150. Arsenal ranked bottom for the hardest difficult fixtures for the attack and second and joint bottom for their defence in the first three. Which is why I wouldn't want their midfielders in my team. Who's the best 5 million defender? Probably Soufal or Lewis Dunk. Mahrez or Son? I'd go Son if you can afford him. Vardy, I don't think he's worth the price. Michael, thank you very much for subscribing. What do I think on Luca Dean, please? Yeah, he's a good pick. I just think I can downgrade him and score similar points elsewhere, but I don't have a problem with anyone picking him. I think Tsimikas will play game week 1 for sure. And if he plays well, he'll start game week 2 and he'll play until Robertson comes back. It's his place to lose. Benrahma or Jack Harrison? I kind of want to go Benrahma. It depends, Lucas. If there's no other... If you've got Antonio, I'd probably go Rafinha. If your team is very safe, then I'd potentially go Benrahma as a bit of a differential. Depends how your team's set up. I think they're very similar in terms of the points that they'll score. Obafemi and Son or Antonio and Rafinha? It depends if you need them to play every week, Pavel. If you don't need Obafemi to play, then goes the Son option. But if you need them both to play, then it's Antonio and Rafinha for me. Will Prowse could get a good start. Differentials. I don't think he's fit to play game week 1. So, Shaw, Tsimikas, Greenwood. Yeah, team looks very nice. Thoughts on Matt Targett from Villa? He's a good alternative. He's a good pick, but game week 4 onwards, Villa have really tough fixtures. So he will just be straight away a transfer out, which would be the problem that I have with him. Yeah, that would be the problem that I have. I don't be going Edison. He's not worth it. Thoughts on Trossard? A good pick, but I think there's other options that I'd probably prefer to start with at his price for the start of the season. Yeah, probably better picks that I'd go with for the start of the season. Benrahma and Mahrez or Tony and Harvey Barnes, please help. Mahrez and Benrahma or Tony and Harvey Barnes, please help. I'd probably go Tony and Harvey Barnes. Sorry, everyone. There's someone at my door. I will be 1 sec. How much did the viewers drop? No. Richarlison over Antonio. No, I'd go Antonio. Why 2 Brighton goalies? Just in case one gets injured, you've got the backup straight away. Best keeper out of them all, I think Sanchez of Brighton. DCL is fit for tomorrow. Yeah, it seems like he is. So he is a good pick if you want to go with him. Because one of them will 100% play for sure. Grealish or Rafinha. So I would be going with Rafinha. Probably save the million. I'd go Greenwood, but you told him to do 2 Brighton on goal keys comments a week ago. You did, Henry, and I have learnt my lesson, and in they have come. In they have come. Schmeichel in goal. I don't think he's worth the 0.5. You don't have to listen to me on Mason Greenwood, but I think he's a good pick. A better 5.5 million than Dean. If Shaw is already in your team, then Dean is the second best option at that price, I think. But there are other cheaper defenders that I think will do as well as him. Ings and Benny or Tony and Benrahma. I'd probably go Tony and I like Tony. Probably Ings and Benrahma out of those two, to be honest. Greenwood or Grealish? I'd go with Greenwood. You're getting locked in. Fingers crossed for Tony to score today without Aubameyang and without Lacazette. I think there's a really good chance for them. Greenwood or Antonio, I would be going with. If I had to own one, I'd probably sell Greenwood. Well, yeah, before I sold Antonio. You have 9 mil from midfielder. Reckon just have 1.5 mil spare and use Greenwood. That's what I would do, or I'd put that money elsewhere. Walking Dead, thank you for subscribing. Sorry, I missed that. Buendia then transferred to Rafinha after international break. You could do that. It could work very well. Who do Leeds play game week 4? They play Liverpool. It doesn't work quite straight away, but you'd have a difficult fixture for 1 week. Antonio or DCL? Antonio or Tony. Antonio, thoughts on Barnes? We did a poll. Barnes is a good pick. He's not a great pick, but yeah, why no Barnes now? Just save myself point money. 0.5. After this, I'm going to be releasing a video for you all, which I'll just make sure I've got my finalised team. But I'm pretty set on this. Buendia is fit to play, yep. Mane and Salah double up. Although I think it can work, it means you don't really have a captaincy options for game week 3 and game week 4. So that's why I wouldn't be going with them. You currently have a similar team. Sachin, welcome. Currently a similar team, but Dallas over Rafinha. Thoughts? Yeah, so Dallas. I think Dallas, Harrison, and Rafinha will all be worth the money that they are costing. So, Jack Lewis, to change formation, you basically go onto the pick team page and you just click on the player you want to transfer out with this little button, and you click on the player you want to transfer in, and it will change formation. Mahrez and Smith Rowe, or Antonio and Greenwood? Antonio and Greenwood for sure. You have 8 in your bank. Which forward to buy? Ings, if you don't have him. Antonio, Wilson. Why Man City player midfield? Because I just don't know who's going to start every week, and I don't think any of them start every week. Bachmann or Sanchez? I would be going Sanchez, as per my team. Three forwards versus 5 midfielders. The 3 forwards helps the strength of your bench more than having 5 midfielders does, because there's no 4.5 options up front. Kuko or Brownhill? I'd go Brownhill. What are cheap defenders that will do the same? I think Lewis Dunk, his goal threat is great for Brighton. I think one of the Vladimir Soufal, 5 million. Those would probably be the 2 that I'd go with over having him. Benrahma or Rafinha? I'd probably go Rafinha if you have the money. Greenwood or Rafinha? Greenwood if you can afford him. Why Rafinha over Barnes? To save me some money. I do have 0.5 in the bank. Should you gain an extra 0.5 putting a goalkeeper instead of 5? Put Greenwood and Barnes. Yeah, I think just put Sanchez in. So excited for the Prem. Also your first year in FPL. You feel like you're getting the hang of it. We'll be here every week, Leafs, with a stream, with videos to help you along the way. And my DMs on Twitter are always open. If you will, I probably won't have any time to reply to more this afternoon than I already have, but yeah. Why no Grealish? First name on the team sheet, worth 0.5. I just don't know how often he's going to play. There's so many wingers that they've got. Sterling had a great Euro, so he's going to need one of those spots, isn't he? Even if he doesn't play game week 1, he'll be wanting them pretty soon in. So, Dean or Soufal, I'd go Soufal. Save yourself the 0.5. Lukaku. How many times did you watch the Lukaku announcement video last night? Not actually that many as you'd think, but yeah, I was pretty buzzing. I'm not quite sure how he'll do and how quickly he'll settle in, but thank you for subscribing, Zaim, and thank you for subscribing, Frank. How close are we? We are just 200 subscribers away. Should I play Watkins over Smith Rowe as Villa played 4-4-2 and he's fit? Yes, for sure. If you've got Watkins, you're going to play him this week. You can get in Wilson and Benrahma if I remove Tony and Rafinha. Yeah, I could, but I quite like Tony and Rafinha. I don't want a West Ham double up. Let me do another poll. Greenwood or Mahrez? We're going to do a few polls, so put any ideas you've got in the chat. Tony or Wilson? Yeah, Tony's another good poll. We're going to put a few up. See how you guys are doing with your teams. I can't add another one. So first one is, do you own Luka Dean in your team? Thoughts on Mane and Salah double up? So I wouldn't be doing it. I'd go elsewhere. It's nice. I think they'll score points, but it's not good for your captaincy option. Fernandes and Ings or Sancho and Lukaku. Although I like Sancho and Lukaku, I don't think they'll start game week 1. You won't be getting both of them starting the first week, so I'd go Fernandes and Ings. Fernandes and Tony or Mahrez and Vardy. So I'd go Fernandes and Tony. Mahrez for game week 2 versus Norwich is definitely a good pick for sure. Will Gibbs White play? I don't think so. Better options in that 4.5 mid bracket. What about Son? He's definitely a good pick. I just didn't have space with him in my team. Maybe we do. Do you own Son? Yeah. That's pretty conclusive. Is it bad you have Sanchez and Veltman? No, they're one of the best value defence in the league for the price they've got in FPL this season. So, liking the stream, DCL and Benrahma or Antonio and Rafinha? I'd probably go Antonio and Rafinha. Just while we're talking about liking the stream, 300 of you guys watching, thank you very much. But only 157 likes. So just while we're talking about the polls and that guy saying that he's liking the stream, let's get it up a little bit. Let's get it up a little bit, shall we? Cool. DCL and Benrahma or Antonio and Barnes? Antonio and Barnes for me. Antonio versus Tony. Poll, right. Get your final votes in on the poll and then we will end it and maybe do another one. One more. Simicast or Jota? I've gone Simicast. I'm not sure on the Brighton double up in defence though. True, but you won't necessarily have to play him every week. If you have to play him every week, then I might. I still like it, to be honest. Still think their defence is good. Otto, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. Rafinha or Benrahma. I don't think that many people own Benrahma. Right, ending the poll now. We have like the stream for God's sake. Neither. 27% for Son, 17% owning Mahrez, 54% owning none, and about one of you or two of you owning both. Interesting. Son definitely the most popular, but still only 1 in 4 teams owning him. Tuchel presser going on right now. I think so. I will have a predicted lineup thread for you all out later. So that will be out before the game week deadline for sure. Sorry, right. Thank you, Shireen. Thank you, Absikar, for subscribing. Your thoughts on Brentford and Tony this season? I think he's a good pick. I don't love Brentford, but I think Tony will have to score goals if they want to have any chance of doing something this season. If they want any chance at all. If they want any chance. So that's why I've gone with him. He just scores goals. Their team is made for Tony to score. So, yeah. Will Lukaku play the first game? I don't think so. In my opinion, I don't think he will. I think it's just too late. I think he'll come off the bench, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Everyone underestimating Benrahma, but there's been links with them going back to Jesse Lingard and potentially signing him, which would be a bit of a worry for me. That would be a bit of a concern. Replacement for Dean, Soufal, White, or Tsimikas. If you can afford Soufal, I like him as an option a lot. It just depends what fits your team a lot. They're all good options. They are all good options. You think 3-4-3 is a good formation? I do. I do like it a lot. Cool. Let's focus back on the stream for you all. Any injury news today? I'll have a predicted lineup out about half an hour to an hour after the stream has ended. So wait and see what you get. What's in that? Right, let me end this poll. 60% of you owning Ivan Toney. Sort of as I expect. Sort of as I expected. How many game weeks? I think we'll start the game. At least 3, if not 3 of the first 4, if not 4 of the first 4. Do I think Greenwood is nailed? That's my answer. Will Ben White start this week? Yeah, I think so. Will Mopai start? I don't see why not. Bailey or Lingard? I don't think either of them are going to start game week 1. Who would I have? Kane or Bamford? I don't think Kane's going to start first week, but I don't think I'd have Bamford either. I'd go for one of the other cheaper striker options like Calvert-Lewin if he's going to play. Antonio, Danny Ings. When did I start playing FPL? So, how many? Oh, we need 9 likes for 200. Go on. So, 2016, 2017 was my first season properly where I made the account. 10,000 finish. Then I had a bad season where I just didn't think Salah would continue his numbers. And then 13, 125 and 3,800 last season. Yeah, buzzing with that finish, of course, last season. My best ever finish. We're about to hit 6 million FPL players as well. 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, either are good formations. 3-4-3 makes your bench slightly stronger though. Antonio or Tony? I mean, it depends what you're going to do with the money. If the money wasn't a factor, I'd Antonio out of the two of them. I don't like Sarr as an option. You're better picking other options elsewhere. My best rank was last season. I got 3,800 in the whole world. It was my best rank. We are so close to it going above 6 million players. Best chance for Greenwood over game week 4. There are quite a lot. Once we know who's... Rafinha could be a good one. There'll be someone else, like whether the Spurs mids are good. Potentially upgrading him. Why Rafinha for game week 1? I still just think Leeds can score goals against whoever they play. So, and their fixtures afterwards are good. My top 4 prediction is Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea and Man United in no particular order. Firmino more nailed over Jota. I don't think either of them are. Quite honestly, I don't think either of them are nailed to start. So, my seasons are good, bad, good, bad, good, which means will be a bad season for you. I have noticed that. Although 125k last season isn't bad. it's just not as good as some of the others. I am thinking about how I can go and change that trend this year for sure. Cool. Who would I have? Varane or Virgil van Dijk? I don't think either of them are going to start game week 1. Should you take Cavani? No, he's not fit. He's not going to play the first 3 weeks apparently. Smith Rowe or Tony? Tony definitely. Havertz or Ziyech? Ziyech is injured. I don't love Havertz because he played 120 minutes midweek either. Thoughts on owning Mason Mount? I don't think he's the best FPL asset. There's better options at his price. So it's a no from me. Trent, Dean, Chilwell, good back line. It's quite expensive. And you don't have Shaw in there. I would do Dean to Luke Shaw, Joshua. Will Ben White start this week? Yeah, I don't see why not. Antonio and Smith Rowe. Ben Rama and Tony. I'm pretty sure I've answered that. Actually, I'm not sure I have. Antonio and Smith Rowe or Ben Rama. I just don't like Smith Rowe, so I'd have to go Ben Rama and Tony. Ben Rama with 1 mil. No, I'd go Rafinha with 500,000. 200 likes. Thank you all. How are the thoughts on Lukaku game week 4? Nathan Leonard, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. Leighton Lucas, we are 170 subs away from hitting 10k. Go on. Can we do it today? Will Lewis Dunk start? Yeah, I think so. Grealish a good option. I just don't know whether he's going to start. It's my worry. It looks like he might, but Pep, Mahrez' first season, however much they spent on him, they still, he still didn't play that many minutes. Man City cover Mahrez. Grealish, good option. Lacquer and Alba out for game week 1, yeah, which makes Arsenal options good. Willock, I don't know if he'll be starting to go game week 1. Tips, do I get worried if your team matches some of the other so-called experts? I don't. How are we doing, Chris? Welcome. I don't tend to mind either way, whether it matches or if it doesn't match. I just pick the team. I haven't paid that much attention, and I've gone with pretty much what I've thought for my game week 1 team, and I'm pretty happy with it. Although it does now match a lot of the others, don't think I've been swayed by other people that much. It's mainly been my tinkering. Is 4-4-2 a good formation? Yeah. 2 strikers or 3 strikers. They're all good formations. It's just the players you fit into them. I just wouldn't have a 5 at the back. In Tuchel's press conference, he said Lukaku won't start. Interesting. Interesting. Vardy and my thoughts on him. I just would go for a cheaper option. Would just go for a cheaper option. What time is it? Cool, we don't have. Thoughts on Tavares? No, not a good option. Can I please say a name? Ben Palmer. Triple captain Salah game week 1, worth it. It paid off last season with 60. I still just wait for double game week. Trent, Dean, Shaw, target, backline, good. Yeah. Lewis Dunk or Veltman. It depends, Liam. If you're playing him every single week, then Dunk. But if you're rotating him with another defender like Ayling to play in their better or worse fixtures, then Veltman. Need a second forward, already have Ings and Antonio. A third forward, Wilson or Tony or Calvert-Lewin would probably be the ones I have. Best 7 mil mid, Harvey Barnes or Rafinha. Jota or Greenwood. I own Greenwood, so that's what I'm going to go with as the answer. I'm doing a draft, so can have the same players as others. You've got Sanchez and Mendy as your keepers. Okay, you're doing a draft fair. Mendy almost a fine clean sheet. Sanchez, they're good 2 keepers for sure. You've done very well there with those. Where am I hoping to finish this season, mate? As close to the top 10k again, but top 50k I'd be happy with. But as high up as I can go. You're thinking of using 3-4 mil defenders to get Ings? No, I wouldn't have 3-4 mil defenders. I'll try and find at least 0.5 to upgrade one elsewhere. in my opinion. Dean and Barnes or Sufal and Greenwood. I would go Sufal and Greenwood. I think it's more than that. It is 160. Top 1 5k tips like you. Chris, did you get that finish one? I didn't realise. I thought it was top 1.5 million. What do I think of Gilmore? Yeah, he's a fine 4.5 option. Yeah. Let me... How long have we got? We got virtually no time. I'm going to do for a little bit of time. Thoughts on having 2 4-mil defenders with 3 at the back. It's a bit of a risk because come game week 3 they're not going to play. I'd only want 1 to be honest. What do I think of Dean? Yeah, he's fine. He's not that great. If you've got other defenders on your bench that you want to play, then I don't think he's worth the money. If you're going to play him every single week, then maybe. DCL or Antonio. I've gone Antonio. Predictions for Arsenal-Brentford. 2-1 Brentford. How many points do I expect after game week 1? 100. No. 70, 80 I think would be a normal game week. Jota and a random 4.5 mil or Simicast and Greenwood. I'd go Simicast and Greenwood. That's what I've got in my team. How much does my team cost? 99.5 million. How will I get Son game week 3? I might not. But I have faith in all the players that I've picked that they can score good points. So you can't own them all. Would you put as a sub goalie? It depends who your first choice goalie is, but just a 4.0 option who's low owned. Why Steele? Because he's the backup at Brighton. He is just the backup at Brighton. Solskjaer, Jadon is going to be involved. He was ill after his holiday. We've lost out on a few days in training with him, but he's gelled really well with the group. Can't tell you if he's going to start or not though. Thanks very much for the vague option, the vague reply, Ollie. So Ollie has told us very kindly that Greenwood will or will not play. Brilliant. Medhusan, thank you. Why am I thinking 2-1 Brentford? No Aubameyang, no Lacazette. It's at home. Brentford's first game in the Premier League. Yeah. Is Dallas a good cheap option? He's fine. I like Mbuemo, worth looking at, especially with those Arsenal injuries. How come no City players? I just couldn't afford him. Can I show my subs, please? Of course. Right. Do need to end the stream in a little bit. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take off slow mode. It's going to be carnage. And I will answer as many questions as we can. And please, before I do it, and I'll answer as many questions, quick fire, like 1-word responses. But like the video just before I go and do this, so we get it up a little bit more. Have a little bit of water before I do this. About 5 minutes, a few minutes of rapid fire questions for you all. But don't spam. If you spam it, then I will obviously just time you out. Or I'll take it away and I'll put it back on slow mode. Ready? Let's do this. Cool. So, Greenwood will play alongside him. Mahrez and Veltman versus Tony and Gundogan. Well. Why Brownhill? Unfortunately, as I said, if you spam, you get timed out and none of your questions will be answered. So, is Ings a must-have? No, but I want an Aston Villa attacker. Favourite player, Mason Greenwood. Do I do DCL over Tony? If you have the money, yes. Is Souček good to have? Better options at his price in Benrahma and Harrison. Martial should start game week 1. Should you start Rafinha or Soufal? I'd start Soufal. Greenwood, Jota or Gundogan. I've gone Mason Greenwood. Messi or Ronaldo. I prefer Messi. Thoughts on having a 4.5 forward? Fine if the rest of your bench is good enough. Hammers for game week 2. I don't think he'll start. Smith Rowe, not a good option. I'd go with someone else. Buendia looks like he's going to start. Is a good pick. Gundogan or Harvey Barnes? I'd probably start with Harvey Barnes. Do I think Foster is a better pick? No, he's probably not going to get any minutes. I'm keeping Greenwood. Yes. Going without Ings. I'd want an Aston Villa attacker. It doesn't have to be Ings. Buendia or Benrahma. Buendia, Tony and a 4.5 mil, or Barnes and a 4.5 mil. I'd probably go Barnes if you still have money left over, but I do like Tony. Jaffa Cake's a cake or a biscuit. I can't remember what the correct answer to that is. If Mason Greenwood in my team, nice. Dean, Antonio, or Tsimikas and Ings. Depends if you need Tsimikas every week, or from game week 3 onwards you can play another defender. If you can, then Ings. If not, then Tony. Is this my final team? Pretty much. There'll be a video up in a few hours summarising it. If I could only pick between one Ings and Antonio, who would I go with? I'd go Antonio, Barnes with nothing in the bank, or Benrahma. I'd go Rafinha with 0.5 in the bank. Start Sanchez or Mendy. I'd start Mendy. Tony and Greenwood, or Rafinha and Wilson. Tony and Greenwood. Reese, thank you for subscribing. Dean or Soufal, I'd probably go Soufal. Barnes or Rafinha, money ain't an issue. I'd go Barnes then if money's not an issue. Mahrez on pens, potentially. We don't quite know. DCL or Danny Ings. I'd probably go Ings, hence the one I've got in my team. Tony and Greenwood, or Rafinha and Wilson. I'd go with Tony and Greenwood, or Rafinha and Wilson. I'd go with Tony and Mason Greenwood. Harrison or Rafinha? Harrison. Triple on 2 teams will backfire. Potentially, but they're 2 of the best teams to own for the start of the season, so I'm quite happy with it. Tony and Greenwood, or Ings and Rafinha. I am on, Tony and Greenwood, or Ings and Rafinha. I'd probably go Ings and Rafinha out of the 2, but I've got all 4, so. Why Greenwood? I think he's going to start, and he's a great price. Barnes or Tony. Barnes or Tony. Barnes. Harvey Barnes or Harrison. It's a million different, but if money wasn't an issue, then Harvey Barnes. But Watkins or Ings on pens. El Ghazi if he starts, if not Danny Ings. Ings out, DCL in after game week 3. Yeah, could work for sure. Why Tony? Why not St. Max? Tony's on pens, just got a better return, I think. So involved for Brentford. How do I think Lukaku will score by mid-season? I think he'll be a good option. FPL tips are so underrated to keep up. Only a matter of time. How many subs am I on? Come on. We've got to get to 10k. Did you say Harrison over Rafinha? No. Rafinha over Harrison. Benrahma, Son, or Mahrez. I mean, they're all very different prices, but I'd go Son if I had the money. Second best 4 mil defender. They're all dreadful now. Omid Bamidele or Amati. When I plan on using my game week, my wildcard between game weeks 5 and game weeks 8, we literally got 2 minutes of questions left to do. Barnes or Tony. If money wasn't an issue, Barnes. Soufal or Mbuemo. Soufal or Mbuemo. I'll probably go Soufal, to be honest. Will Martinelli be a good shout as he is due to be starting? Yeah, but their game week 2 and 3 fixtures are dreadful, so I wouldn't be getting him. Salah, Bruno and Son, possible. It is possible. You kind of have to play 4 at the back and have 2 rotating 4.5 defenders. Yasir, thank you for subscribing. Vardy or Aubameyang. Aubameyang's not fit, so Vardy. I wouldn't want a Brentford defender. Barnes with nothing in the bank, or Benrahma. Again, Rafinha with 0.5 in the bank. Right. Tsimikas is only 20% owned, but looks like most of you Twitter do. DCL or Richarlison, I'd go DCL. Ings essential, not essential, but I'd want a Villa attacker. But guys, I'm gonna have to wrap up the stream. pretty much now. Mahrez and Benrahma or Gundogan and Greenwood. I would be going with Mahrez and Gundogan and Greenwood. Wait for the double game week to use triple captain. Wait for the double game weeks that will be announced. They're not announced yet to play your bench boost and everything else. Wilson and Benrahma or Mahrez and Veltman. Wilson and Benrahma. Barnes, Trossard or Benrahma. Barnes if you can afford him. Do I start Simicast? Aubameyang, I'm sure there's an article saying that he's not fit. Cool. Right. I know there's a lot of questions being left unanswered, but I do need to go. Thank you all so much for your pre-season support. There'll be a video up in an hour or so where I'll finalise my team and let you know what it is. I hope you have enjoyed. If you could like the stream, but importantly, if there's anyone watching that isn't subscribed, we're like 100 subs away from hitting 10k by the Gameweek 1 deadline, which would be just awesome. So if you could, good luck in Gameweek 1, everyone. I really hope it goes well. If you're not sure on a decision, just go with your gut. Don't always listen to what I've got to say. I hope you do all the best. Good luck, everyone. And I will see you all next week for the videos, the Game Week videos, the Game Week previews, the Game Week reviews will all be out next week and live streams as well. Good luck, as I've said. I'll have useful content being tweeted out on Twitter, so make sure you're checking over there. Link in the description if you want to go and follow me. Link to Fantasy Football Hub to get the stats and everything. 25% off in the description. It expires at 6:30 tonight, and you have to pay full price for the season. So 25% off there. Follow me on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter. Go and look on TikTok as well. And good luck, everyone. And I will see you all very soon. Cheers all.